Hi guys, welcome back. Another weekend, another Supernatural Files show, and I've just noticed I didn't take that little clip from the last show. I also noticed I need to kill the mic on the other thing, so bear with me for a second. Does that work? I think that works pretty good. Right, welcome guys. It's been a hell of a week. How is everybody? Let's see who we got on first of all. Tonight we've got some pretty interesting stuff. Let's see who we've got. Nobody. No, we haven't really, but nobody's made any comments yet. So come on, guys, get some comments in, get some going. Some questions, some how you doing, what kind of week you had any paranormal experiences, etc., etc., etc. Who we got on here tonight, guys? If I don't see a name pop up, I'm going to think it's not live or that it's saying live because we had that problem before. I was talking to myself for 30 minutes. I don't want to do that again. Let me just double check what's going on. Hold on. So, before we jump into anything, let me refresh this. I've got a delay going on tonight, haven't I? I have got a delay. Fantastic. Guys, I need a sound check. I'll have to ring my wife else and just ask her. Oh, Patty, it's fine. So I'm just going to call you. Thank you, darling. At least I know I'm all good. I'm all live and we're all doing well. I don't know how many we've got on here tonight at the moment because it was a little bit kind of, I didn't put the thing up until 2 hours before I started. I've definitely got a delay going on tonight. Let me just see. Right, at the moment, well, we've only got a couple of three, four people watch at the moment. So, guys, who's there? Is Athena on there? George? Anybody? I know we've got Paddy. I'm not going to start until we get some more people. And if we don't get any other people, I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to do a pre-record and upload it because I don't want to talk to myself nearly all night. Who's on here now? Can you just go into the comments? Are you all right, sweetheart? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come back in 5 minutes. So I didn't actually post it a couple of hours before because of everything that was going on. So not a lot of people on at the moment. Good, 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 good. Anybody going to comment? Anybody want to comment? I know there's some people on there. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Let's edit this. Then I'm going to do that. No one's commented yet. I think there's not enough people on. So this is what I'm going to do. So whoever's listening or not listening or watching or not watching, I will be back in, what did I say, 10 minutes. See if there's anybody else on. Okay. Okay, guys, or guy, or lady. There's one person watching now. This is where we're at. I forgot it was St. Patrick's Day, and also did this sort of a couple of hours before it started, and normally I do it 5 or 6 hours. So I guess then the combination of them two things means tonight we're probably going to cancel the show. So I'm going to have a smoke, give it a few more minutes. See if anybody comes on. George, Athena, where are you people? So look, comments, anything? No, just me talking to myself and my lovely wife. Okay. So I'm going to wait a few minutes. If not, I'm going to cancel it, unfortunately. And we will save the show for another night. I don't know if we can do it tomorrow. Let me make a phone call. I know about tomorrow at 4, so maybe I could I don't know. We'll see. I will just sit here and smoke my cigarette and enjoy my glass of wine, which I didn't even get last week, so I didn't do a show. And wait in the hope there'll be a sudden onslaught of people, which we all know is not going to happen. Yeah. What time is it now? Let me see. It is. Okay, you know what? I'll give it another 5 minutes. Shame, because it's a good show tonight. It's always a good show. Let's see what we've got going on now. 3 people. Okay, well, that's a start. Who are them 3 people? Put something in the comments so I can see who I'm talking to. That would be good. I was just saying that I might have to cancel the show because there's not enough people, because it's St. Patrick's night, so probably everyone's out celebrating, and I didn't actually list it on YouTube until a couple of hours before, when normally I do it way before then. So we will see how it goes, people, in the next few minutes. I've definitely got a delay going on tonight as well. I should play some music, shouldn't I guess. Nobody want to say hello? Them whole 3 people that are on there tonight. We're normally a lot busier than this. Oh my God. Let's not let off a second. Athena. Thank goodness. Now we may have a whole 4 people. I said to Paddy, I said, where's goddamn Athena and George? They've stood us up tonight. Oh, wait, darling. Let's have a little look on here. We have 5 people watching. Okay, that's definitely an improvement from 1. We'll give it another few minutes, guys, for other people to come. And it looks like we just may have a show and we won't have to cancel. So, Athena, the sound and the audio and everything's all good. Yep. I know we've got a little bit of a delay going on tonight, but I have got my Rode mic on tonight, so hopefully that will be good. Let's just double check this. Oh, all's good. Wow, you read my mind. Okay. How are you? I guess all's good on that as well. Okay. Let me see how many we got. We're going to start. We got just a couple more. Tonight's pretty interesting. 4. We've lost one. Oh no, 5. They'll come back again. Okay, that's good. That might be George, I guess. Okay, Athena. So I forgot it was St. Patrick's Day today, and a lot of people are going to be out celebrating. And plus, I didn't actually list this on YouTube until a couple of hours before. So, them two aspects are probably just caused a bit of a dent. But you know what? It uploads and people will see it anyway, I guess. So, in fact, do you know what, Athena? While we're waiting for the people, let me give you a call, see how you are. Let me have a look. Athena. Let's see where art Athena. Oops. That looks like you to me. Let's go for this. Calling you. Oh yeah, it does. Hey.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? How are you?
I'm doing
Good. Good. So Facebook still says 8:15.
I believe that's what your Facebook post said was 8:15. Yes.
I thought it's. I can't remember putting 8:15. Let me have a check. How are you? You all right?
Hanging in there. How are you and Patty doing?
We're always good, Athena, because you know what? Life is too short not to be. So you got to make the most of it. I have a little delay on here, which is annoying on my video feed. Okay. So I guess we'll start at. Let me just check out Facebook.
I think it said starting. Your last post said starting to 15 and 20 minutes, so that would put you 8:15 to 8:20 when I looked.
Yeah, but that depended when I posted it, which was about quarter to.
Well, delays and all. So
delays and
me reading it, it would say, we're starting between 8:15 and 8:20.
Oh, okay. So I guess we'll just hang on. So, Athena, do we do a show tonight?
Well, I think so. Why not?
Okay. People, the thing is, this is quite important to get the first part at the beginning. So if people come like 10 minutes late, they won't even know what it's about, pretty much. So it's a pretty good show.
Give people a few minutes to jump in, and then you'll have your watch laters. But if, like you said, it's St. Patrick's Day.
I know.
It's Friday night.
It is, and you know what? This is my first glass of wine for 2 weeks because I didn't get one last week because I only ever, despite popular belief, does not drink wine all the time. I only drink a bottle of wine now when I'm doing a show. And we didn't do one last week, so this is my first bottle of wine. And it's really good.
Good for you.
I think so too. Let me just see what's going on here. Carry on.
I can't say tonight's my first night. Last night was my first night after a while.
Hey.
But
you know what? You got to live a little.
Sometimes life calls for a glass of wine.
Yeah, it absolutely does. There's worse things in life, Hey, guess what? I passed my US driving test now.
Congratulations.
Fantastic.
So exciting.
Yeah, do you know what happened? So I went all the way around. He gave me a couple of knocks. He says, twice I didn't look over my left shoulder. Okay. He says, and you clip the curb on the reverse parking thing down the hill. Okay, but the curb was like about 3 inches tall, to be honest, but I didn't say anything. So I'd passed at that point. The point you start off with 100. 30 seconds away from getting back, I turned at the lights. Taking the nearest, I don't know why I've done this. I never done this before. Instead of taking the nearest lane, I took the middle lane. And he deducted like a load of points. And I failed. I was like, oh my God. Who does that? 30 seconds away from completing the test. So I walked in and I was really pissed with myself. And said, okay, when can I rebook? He went, do you want to do it in 5 minutes? I said, absolutely. So we did, and I passed with 94%. So that was a good result in the end. But oh my goodness, I was gutted. I thought, failed? You've got to be kidding me. I've been driving here for 5 years.
And every state, so unlike the UK, which it's kind of like a generalized thing no matter where you live, correct? Am I correct?
Yeah, you're totally correct.
It's pretty much the same. So in the States, it's completely different from state to state.
Yeah.
The rules are different. The driving tests are different. Who give your tests are different. It's all completely different by state.
Well, when I did my last test, which was probably 39 years ago in the UK, I do recall that junction occasionally, something look over your shoulder, that's absolutely fine. Changing lanes, whatever. But you know what? We was not required to look over your shoulder to pull out to join the traffic. I always just use the You know, the mirrors.
Oh yeah, and it's not just looking over your shoulder, it's how far over your shoulder you look.
I know, they measure everything, don't they? They're really strict because
yes,
these ones are all police officers as well, so they're super strict, you know. So I just thought, oh my goodness, I'm gutted, and I was gutted, and I was mad with myself. I revised these 150 odd questions and answers, and you know, so I did the written test. I was in and out in 10, 12, 13 minutes. I was the last one in. They went in 10 minutes before me, and I was the first one out, and they were all still in there. And the woman said, do you want to check your answers? Because I was quick. I went, no, I'm good. She said, oh, you passed. Fantastic. But so I was gutted when I actually failed on doing something so goddamn stupid. The last 30 seconds on the way back to the centre had actually passed at that point until I did that. So I thought, oh my goodness. I said to myself, Paddy, oh, sorry, babe, I let you down. And I was pissed. So I went in. When can I do a retest? 5 minutes? Fine, let's do it. And it was all good. So anyway, that's the short version. So that's that sorted. All right, where are we now? I think we should get the show started soon, Athena. I think. Let me see. Just refreshing. Oh, we've only got 4 people. Oh, okay. Do you know what? We're going to start. Shall we start?
We shall start.
I think we should start.
Like I said, it's St. Patrick's Day. People might be out. It's Friday.
Do you know what? Well, this is pretty popular. We normally get quite a lot of people on, don't we? The comments and everything, you know. And them that are on.
Usually you're going by now, but you know.
Yeah. Them that are on.
Even though we're not Irish.
No.
We still like to take on everybody's holidays here.
Oh, come on. Come on there. Yeah, I know. All right, we're going to start. And people just have to join in, miss it, or whatever. It's not their fault. It's St. Patrick's Day. And Athena, I'm going to talk to you in a little while.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're a star.
We'll chat.
Later. Take care. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Okay, I guess it's time to start. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Supernatural Files. We have to do that a little bit. We just have to do that. Okay. So tonight, this goes back on an investigation I did a little while ago. 3 years ago, maybe? Me, Steve Mara, Jody, Chris Andrews, Neil Morris. It was a farmhouse in the UK, and it was never meant to be an investigation. In fact, it was quite a fluke, to be honest with you. My old place at the back was just fields and a little picturesque stream. It was pretty. On the front, just literally walking across the road, it was a canal. Beautiful. My daughter came in one afternoon, summer afternoon, she went, Daddos, all the bulls have come out the gate. So my house is here. You go out, turn left. You walk probably 20 metres down. There's a big farm gate at the bottom. Beyond that, there's fields full of bulls. And these are bulls, not little cute bulls. These are kind of bulls, you know. So I walked out, looked at the door, went, oh my goodness, there's like 30 of them. All marching up to the main road. So the only thing between them and the main road was Don Phillips. So what do you do? So I just went out, stood in front of these bulls. I won't tell you what I did, but they all turned around and started going. And people were like looking in amazement, like, wow, how do you do that? These are bulls, you know? And they all went in the gate, reluctantly, and I closed the gate. So I got to know the farmer, Pete, a little while before that. I saw this guy in his Land Rover driving around the estate all the time. I thought, what's this guy even doing? And then I found that he was the farmer, Pete. He had got a farmhouse down the lane from where the bulls had come up. Originally, it was full of antiques. It was his family home since I think it was the 1940s. Over the years, he'd been robbed because he lived there and in his normal house as well. He had the two, and he didn't maintain this one and put security up and occupied all the time. So all the antiques got stolen. Then he got trashed by vandals. And he was in his Land Rover driving around the estate, round and round every night chasing people. I thought, this guy needs a hand. So I kind of took him under my wing, but he's quite an old guy, nice guy. And I started kind of going down there, keeping an eye out, chasing people, even caught some people and called the police. Um, one time, but I was always chasing people off and everything. And the crazy thing is, he had a little shed thing there, and in there was this painted black and golden, beautiful old-fashioned carriage. You know, like the Queen and everybody. You know, you see them. They're doing the parades and everything. And it turns out that the coachmaker was the guy that made the Queen's carriages. And he's just got this pristine thing in this little outhouse, ready to be stolen, set on fire, or vandalised. It really is a quite sad story. So, anyway, Pete said, "Do you want to look around?" So, yeah, I'll have a look around. So, I went down the farmhouse, walked in, thought, wow, is this place haunted? I wasn't feeling a whole lot, but you know what? It really looked haunted. This farmhouse was a depiction of what you'd expect an old farmhouse to look like if it was haunted. Pete had actually taken to sleep in there at night to try and protect it some nights. And this is a place with no windows. This place is like falling apart around him. You will see very, very shortly. So I got to talking to Peter, and he was telling me that, like, where they dug the pond out, there was all these. They found it to be a Saxon burial ground. But this is the kicker. Pete collected World War One and World War Two vehicles. There was all sorts there, and he got more than one farm. The other farm I actually went to see, showing me. Oh my god, there was like 3 times as much. He didn't maintain them. He'd buy them, he'd park them up just because he liked them, and the weather would get to them. So there was not maintained pristine condition or anything else. But you know what? They was original, and they got history. There was also a couple. Oh, there was ammunition boxes from World War One, World War Two. There's ambulances that people had obviously been taken care of by nurses, had been shot in, died in, and everything. So I said, Peter. Oh, and then he mentioned about spooky goings on when his family used to live there, poltergeist activity. And then I got to thinking, this is a place which has been empty, derelict for years, pretty much, but a lot of history. I wasn't concentrating on the Anglo-Saxon burial ground. I was more interested in the World War Two connection and the ambulances, trailer ambulances, where people had obviously died and been taken care of. Why would spirits want to occupy a place like that or a house with no windows? Derelict, pretty much derelict, farmhouse. Would it be possible to contact some spirits from World War One or Two? Could there be any connection between them and any of these vehicles? That sounded like a challenge to me. So I said, Peter, I know we kind of know each other pretty well, and I've been taking care of you. Took me under my wing. I'm chasing off your kind of people, that your thieves and your vandals, and I've saved your balls from going out on the main road and cost you thousands of pounds. This is what I do. Told him all about it. He says, "Would you mind? Could I come down here with some guys and maybe we could just check it out, just in case?" Yeah, sure. He said, "Fantastic." We arranged it. There was myself, Steve Marrow, obviously. There was Jodie, who was actually a team member for a short period of time. Now, Jodie was on the other Supernatural Files about children talking to spirity relatives and everything. If you saw the last one, fantastic. If you didn't, watch it. It's pretty interesting. So that was Jodie. Jodie also appeared, obviously, in the Channel 4 documentary that we did, Man vs. Weird. There was Neil Morris, who was actually the narrator for another project. And there was Chris Andrews, absolutely fantastic guy. Now, the thing is this, Chris and Steve, they're very strict. I like that. It's not to catch me out or anything, but you know what? You can never be too strict or as controlled as you can be in any environment they're investigating. So Steve asked Chris to come down with his parabolic. They did a whole sweep of the whole place for a little while. No sound, no voices, nothing on the recorders, nothing on the parabolic. So this first clip that I'm going to play. Oh, I'll interrupt myself in a second. This first clip I'm going to play is Steve's introduction to the farmer. He gives a little bit of brief outline about the history of the farmhouse, his family, the experiences, and everything else. Now, this was to be a complete 1.5 hour, fantastic investigation. And I've got to tell you guys, the voices were stupendous, the replies were many, but this was maybe 3 years ago now when we did this, or maybe a little bit. No, it's probably about 3 or 4. In that time, I lost a hard drive, and this is when I used to back stuff on mechanical ones. These bits I've got now are what I've actually managed to salvage from other bits I had on other hard drives. So it's not a complete investigation. These are the main points of the investigation, but I thought it fit in and good enough to actually do a show about. And what I'm going to say as well, if I'm going to save that, I'll save that till later. In the meantime, I'm going to say, good evening, George. Damn it, I almost missed live. Good thing I didn't. Yeah, it is a good thing you didn't. Because you know what, George? We need people tonight because we're all out celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Well, let me just get a quick look on here. Then we're going to jump into this clip. Let me see. I'll get rid of the back in 10 minutes thing in a second. Okay, we've got some people. That makes me happy. That makes me really happy. Let me come to here. Is that still, that's still scrolling? Okay, let's get rid of that. There we go. Now we're in business. So very quickly, George, how much did you catch of what I said about the actual the farmhouse? Did you get the kind of gist of it? Old dilapidated farmhouse. I wondered if I could communicate with. I mean, the guy collected World War II vehicles, World War I vehicles, and I was more interested in that side of things. Wondering, could I communicate with a spirit from World War I, World War II, be it somebody that had been killed, someone that died in the ambulance, or a nurse that was attending someone that died in the ambulance? Did you get any of that, George? Got the gist. Fantastic. Okay, so here we go. Let me get into this first clip. So this is the introduction. He says, we've done that. Right, this is about 8 minutes, just over 8 minutes, but this kind of gives you some background on the whole thing, where we're at, how I arrived there, and everything else. This is not going to be a super long show, 3-4 hours tonight, trust me. Okay, so this is that one now, guys. Enjoy, and here we go.
Has it been in your family for a long time? Then?
Yeah, from 1947. My uncle came out of the war and wanted to farm and purchased it with various funds and went to an auction and bought it.
Right. How long has it been empty?
I was more or less forced out of it from a living point of view about 2 years ago. So I broke my ankle, and after that, things started to go wrong. Although there were warning signs that I've had on other properties, and life's not what it used to be.
Okay, Pete. So, have there been any unusual things taking place in the house?
My uncle was quite historian and recorded a lot of issues. I mean, he was a great writer. You might call unusual incidents. And again, this was mainly to do with family history and the fact that he thought he saw he didn't think he saw. He said he saw a poltergeist here one night when I was about 14 or 15.
Right. How did he describe that?
A huge wind and a figure or something, sort of veiled appearance in the room of something. Now, we all sort of listen to your elders as these quirky people, you know, and you don't necessarily, we don't want to listen about ghosts. But the funny thing was, I was living with my grandmother down the road at number 25, and I was about 14 or 15, and on the same night, the same thing had happened in the bedroom there.
Oh, right.
The windows suddenly opened, there was a huge wind, and there were things moving about and everything, and I was scared.
Fascinating, yeah.
And he came up with this story the next night when he came down for dinner. And I just kept mum about what had happened. And I thought, if we get together, what on earth would we'd both be locked up in an asylum? So that was the one thing that I remember about any.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that how we have come to be here. Of course, you met a colleague of mine, Don.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, strangely, I was having a lot of trouble with these break-ins, and I was going backwards and forwards like a yo-yo to get here. And one evening, I think I left the gate open, and a few of my bovine creatures happened to go down the road, and
yes, I've noticed there is quite a few cows and bulls about, isn't there?
And it all stemmed from that.
Right.
So
and of course Don came down to the farmhouse.
Yeah, we got chatting on various items. I think it was all. I don't clearly understand, or didn't understand at the time, his involvement in
this field,
whatever it was, and it seemed to be came over as it might be a paradise for.
The first thing that struck me is the amount of vehicles and things you have in the grounds, which are obviously from the war period of the war.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is that something that you collect?
I have done. They are from various wars. I mean, my main interest is the Second World War, of which very few of the items are from the Second World War here, but I do collect many more on a different farm. They all have an interest for me in the fact, I like military vehicles.
Right, and fascinating stories.
Oh, thank you very much. Any other time, there's plenty more to talk about.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I've just heard from Pete's absolutely fascinating location, lots and lots of history and indeed family history. The guys rest of the team now are actually getting set up. This is one place I wasn't even expecting to be investigating initially when I met Pete. It was on a totally unrelated matter. Anyway, like I said, the guys are getting set up. We will be beginning the investigation probably in the next 15 or 20 minutes. I'm actually expecting quite a lot from this place. We'll see what happens.
I descended upon this farmhouse along with Don Phillips and a couple of my colleagues from the scientific establishment of parapsychology. I've asked them to go around the building with their audible recording devices and just to see if we can get anything unusual recorded on them. And as we know from previous investigations we've done, we've captured some incredible things. And what's really interesting is the fact that when these guys have gone round, Chris and Emma, to capture these recordings, they've actually got nothing, absolutely nothing, just hush in the background, and that is what we expected. It'll be interesting tonight, later on, to see if we really do capture some unusual things.
I'm Chris from SEP. I've been asked by Steve to help investigate this venue this evening. We've been round and we've done a full sweep of all the rooms within the venue using the dictaphone voice recorder. The good thing about the voice recorder is that we found that everything is clean. There's no sounds, there's no clicks, there's no crackling sounds whatsoever from every single room. So every single room was clear. So I'm very, very happy with the results we've got on there for the initial sweep, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the evening to see what we can find.
Yeah. Only get a few done nowadays.
Put you in there.
I don't know that yet.
What? The guy was living there and sleeping there. I think it was maybe 3, sometimes 4 nights a week to try and protect what he got left after the vandals had robbed it. This was a very nice farmhouse originally. His family home, a family home inherited. Been his family since 1946. When he wasn't actually there, I just wish the guy would have asked for help and I'd met him sooner. The bastards trashed the place. They stole his antiques. They took his memories, his family's memories. We went up in one room in there. There was old family photos scrawled along the floor. There was ration books from the war. There was everything. You know what, guys? You have no idea how much it angered me when I found out what was going on. And Pete, who was actually full of arthritis, on his own, trying to deal with that. There's some really bad people in this world. I would say that they should think themselves lucky that I didn't get my hands on them, but I did manage to get my hands on some, handed them over to the police, and spent a lot of time just going down there, taking dog for a walk, looking over, just making sure everything was okay. Several times, look out the backyard, and you will see smoke coming up. They'd been setting fire to stuff around the place. They'd been setting fire. He had a big pile of old tyres. They had to burn them. They burnt this. They set fire to some of his vehicles. And Pete was afraid it was going to burn down the house. I said, Pete, I can put your security fence out with remote cameras. So you can just call the police, get them straight down there. The police were down there all the time. All the time. But not many of these people were caught. And do you know what? It just saddens me and it angers me so freaking much that people think they can just desecrate people's lives like that. His life, his memories, everything. Anyway, there was a lot of footage of the vehicles, inside the vehicles and everything else. But like I said, an old hard drive went down, took half the investigation with it. These are the bits I managed to pull together. But the question was, could I make contact with any spirits connected to the vehicles? I wasn't so much interested in the house, but the vehicles I was pretty drawn to. Okay, so this next clip now, this is just a general, not long after we got there, me, Jody, Steve and everything, a little walk around. So you just get a little further glimpse of the inside of this property. It's not a big clip. It's only 1.5 minutes. Just take a look at this, guys. And this is, Pete was living here, sleeping here 3 or 4 nights a week to try and protect what was left.
We fall over.
Don't do that. Is the amp up there? The amp, is it up there?
I think it is. I know the video recorder.
Did you hear any of that, Chris? Did you hear any of that then, in the ambulance?
No, I came in to get my coat and Peter was talking.
Should have been there, mate.
Said you could have played with the amp or something.
Yeah. Where was the amp? Did you bring it through?
Yeah, I think it should be in here.
Ah.
Steve asked me to bring everything downstairs. Yeah, it's in here.
Oh, we'll take it downstairs anyway. Yeah, it's mine. I've left a few bits there, so I know where they are. Yeah, just leave it for now. Joe, do you want to sit in the back of the ambulance on your own and have a try?
Cold out there.
It's what?
It's cold.
You sure? It's not cold.
Freezing.
It's not freezing.
It is.
Are you really cold?
Yeah, I should have got. I've got my big coat in the car. I should have bought it.
The amount of sugar you've eaten and you're cold. I find that fascinating. Do you know what? I want to play a clip one more time, guys, because, and that bed, by the way, is where Peter was sleeping on that bed. God knows what was calling out in there. I had about a minute in on that clip. I thought I heard a voice or something, or a loud sigh. I'm not sure it was one of us or not. I don't think it was. I never noticed that before. But then again, the absolutely amazing clip I'm going to be playing you in this later, I only came across that today when I was going through the footage, and I was like, wow. Do you know what, guys? It's absolutely incredible. Trust me on that. I'm not even bigging that up. It is fantastic. Let me just listen to that again. I can't fast forward it, unfortunately. I think it was around about the 1 minute mark. So just listen very carefully. See if you can hear a or something like that, which doesn't sound like it was one of us. Okay.
We fall over.
Don't do that. Is the amp up there? The amp, is it up there?
I think it is. I know the video record.
Did you hear any of that, Chris? Did you hear any of that then, in the ambulance?
No, I came in to get the call and Peter was talking.
Should have been there, mate.
Said you were going to play with the amp or something.
Yeah. Where was the amp? Did you bring it through?
Yeah, I think it should be in here. 'Cause Steve asked me to bring everything downstairs. Yeah, it's in here. The amp.
Oh, we'll take it downstairs anyway.
Right, I'll just grab some of these.
Yeah. It's okay. It was one of us. I just had to double check that. So I'll spare the rest of it. So like I was saying, this poor guy, triply arthritis, his fingers were like this. He could hardly goddamn move, walk. Trying to protect the remnants, quite literally, of his family home. And you can see the conditions this guy was staying in, sleeping there at night and everything. Absolutely terrible. But that just gives you a little glimpse of the rest of the place. Definitely, but so sad. Yeah, okay, right. So, like I said, the thing that was interesting to me was trying to make a connection with someone from the war days. Wouldn't that be incredible? Wouldn't it be even more incredible if that connection was incredible? Guys, we got two incredibles. But before we get to that, headed over to the ambulance trailer. That's where I felt drawn to. Got some replies. Weren't 100% fantastic, but I think they're pretty credible because, you know, as Steve said, all you should hear is shh. One of them was something be with us. And then there's another one that said the spirits are watching us or something like that. There's spirits watching us, which I can only assume was one of my guys telling me that the other spirits was watching us, because otherwise why would spirits be saying spirits are watching us, as in us? Okay. So this is the first... this is nothing, trust me, wait till we get to the kicker. Okay, so this was the first one, which I think says something be with us, and it's only 40 seconds, so let me know what you can hear. It's not fantastic, but to me personally it's pretty clear. Well, why do you appear to be in here? Okay. It was that second one. You see, this is why I use two recorders. Two slightly different frequencies, different speakers, different everything. I'll play that one more time. So now, okay, we can ignore the first 30 seconds. It's the last 10 seconds of that where there's a male voice obviously comes in there and says, be with us. So let's just play that one more time. Now you know exactly what you're listening for in the last 10 seconds. Okay. Well, why do you appear to be in here? Okay. Okay, did you hear that? That last few seconds on the second recorder, something, be with us. Obviously a male vocal. To me, that's clear. Could you guys hear that out of interest? I'm always interested in people's different ranges of hearing and how they actually interpret things. So if you heard that last part, let me know, because that would be of interest to me. Then the second one, which is clearer. Something the spirits are watching us. Let's just go to comments right now. Hold on. Athena, completely different from the other sounds from those present. Yeah, absolutely. But the problem we got, Athena, is the be with us was definitely there, but to the untrained ear, open to interpretation. That's why you can only say, I heard this thing and it sounds to me like be with us. You cannot say that is definitely a spirit saying be with us, because even if you know it is, and other people are on the fence about it, and it's open to interpretation, then it's of no good. And, you know, I'm really strict about evidence. I've said this many, many times before to the paranormal groups. What you put out and claim as evidence, be careful. Because what's evidence to you may not be evidence to somebody else. And that's important. And Chris French, Goldsmiths University in London, fantastic guy, the skeptic god in the UK. You know, who I actually think is a great guy. We get on well. We've maintained our relationship since that thing at Gainers, and we've got a mutual respect because Chris has actually admitted that there's stuff going on there that he's got no explanation for. Now, coming from a skeptic, that is amazing, especially a skeptic god, because normally it would be, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Just to cut on that very quickly, initially during the interview at Gainers, and that's exactly what he said. Oh, it was this, it's someone walking by, could have been a neighbour. If you've not seen the Gainer thing, well, I debunked Chris French's defence. You need to watch it, because then I got an email when Chris actually saw that. He said, "Okay, Don, I will admit it couldn't be anything that he suggested it was." That's quite a lot coming from Chris. So you know what? Yeah, respect to Chris, because Chris is the skeptic god in the UK, Goldsmiths University. Yeah, that was good to get that from Chris. Was amazing, because I don't think anyone has ever had anything close to that from Chris in all the things he's ever looked at as a skeptic god. I hear a lot through it, but I would have to hear it over several loops. That, Athena, is exactly what I'm saying. Open to interpretation. To me, it's evidence, because I can hear it pretty clearly. To other people, it may not be. Therefore, it's open to interpretation, and it's of no value. If you've got to listen to a clip several times, it's of no value. It's not evidence. It's interesting. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes if you've been strict with your evidence, and we have to be strict. Okay, but there's one coming up. Oh my goodness, even the staunchest skeptic in the world, including Chris French, cannot deny this that's coming up. I'll talk more about that before I play it, but okay. So, next clip is a little bit clearer. Some guys that says spirits are watching us. Again, to some maybe open to interpretation. To me, I can hear clearly spirits watching us without any doubt, 100%. See what you think, guys. Is there anybody in this unit that may have died here. You know, I mean, it is a World War II hospital, well, ambulance trailer. So I can't think why you would want to be honest with you. But help me out a little bit. If anybody died here, just say, yes, I died here, or just something like that, or yes, I was shot. You know, anything like that. Something I can hear. Thank you. Did you guys get that?
Just play that again. I could hear that from outside.
That was. I'm not sure what was being said. I wasn't really trying to listen, but that is a great effort from these guys. For what we need to thank them. There's a lady here right now with me, sort of around here. Sweetheart, can you just give me your first name, please? Or can you tell me what you used to do? Was you a nurse or whatever? So first name, or was you a nurse? Just say I was a nurse, or give me your first name. Okay. Could you hear the speech watching us? Again, I would say to a lot of people that would be open to interpretation if they don't know what they're listening for. Before I get into the humdinger, I'm going to play that clip one more time for you to listen one more time and tell me if you can hear something, spirits watching us. Okay. See if you agree. So I'm going to play that one more time. Is there anybody in this unit that may have died here? You know, I mean, it is a World War II hospital, well, ambulance trailer. So I can't think why you would want to be honest with you. But help me out a little bit. If anybody died here, just say, yes, I died here, or just something like that, or yes, I was shot. You know, anything like that. Something I can hear. Thank you. Did you guys get that?
Just play that again. I could hear that from outside.
That was. I'm not sure what was being said. Okay, so George, you got the worst ear for this. Okay, I will guarantee your ears are about to improve. Some kind of medical miracle is about to take place when I play this next clip. Okay, so scratchy, open to interpretation, evidence. To me, yes. Will I put it out as evidence? No. I can only claim what I'm hearing. But you know what? That is a claim. If you can't hear that, it remains a claim. And obviously people may be on the fence. That's fine too, because that's how it should be. So you will hear. I'm sorry, I've got to play this one more time, guys. In the last part of that, I felt the presence of a female. Now, you know, this is important that I play this again now, because this is to do with validation. I can make claims all day. I can say, yeah, I can feel the presence of a female. That's a claim. A claim, excuse me, a claim without substantiation is a claim. It's a story. It's meaningless. Unfortunately, it's worthless. And you know what? We've got thousands and millions of people around the world making claims, unsubstantiated claims all the time, which is damaging the field. So unfortunately, I'm going to play this one more time, because forget the recordings, listen to what I'm saying about the presence of a female, because the next clip you'll be able to connect the dots, and you'll see why we're playing this one more time. Okay. Is there anybody in this unit that may have died here? You know, I mean, it is a World War II hospital, well, ambulance trailer. So I can't think why you would want to be honest with you. But help me out a little bit. If anybody died here, just say, yes, I died here, or just something like that, or yes, I was shot. You know, anything like that. Something I can hear. Thank you. Did you guys get that?
Just play that again. I could hear that from outside.
That was. I'm not sure what was being said. I wasn't really trying to listen, but that is That is a great effort from these guys, for which we need to thank them. There's a lady here right now with me, sort of around here. Sweetheart, can you just give me your first name, please? Or can you tell me what you used to do? Was you a nurse or whatever? So first name, or was you a nurse? Just say I was a nurse, or give me your first name. Okay, so that's the important part. Claim. There's a lady here. That's a claim. Doesn't mean a thing without substantiation. Speak to me. Was you a nurse? Now, unfortunately, because I lost some of the footage on this, my goodness, we had some fantastic replies when we played on 3D, which I keep talking about, which you're not going to see because we lost it. Charlene was indeed a nurse that used to tend to the dying soldiers in that ambulance trailer. George, I told you by some medical miracle your hearing is about to get amazingly clear on these recordings. You will remember, most people remember, I think both of you, all of you have seen it. There's an old clip from years ago when I was sitting in my kitchen. I took a recording on my recorder. It sounded like people in my backyard, and I actually heard this audibly. We want you to be with us. I thought, who the hell's in my backyard? That's how clear it was to me at the time. And we had a direct comparable between how it sounded on the voice recorder and how it sounded in real time. We want you to be with us, instead of we want you to be with us. The typical voice recorder thing. Now, people, I think George, I don't know if it was you, George, always said to me, many people have asked, why do they always whisper? They don't whisper, guys. When you hear, excuse me, when you hear digital voice recording, it always sounds whispery. You know what? Believe it or not, they are talking as clear as I'm talking to you now. Provided my battery's not gone on my mic, obviously, like last time. The old adage, the old argument, the skeptical argument, ambient sound resembling speech. I'm going to throw that right back at them. We've now got two examples, not of ambient sound resembling speech, but speech resembling ambient sound. How's that for a new one on the Supernatural Files? So, guys, can you remember the previous one where I was in my kitchen in the old place a few years ago? It was in the backyard. We want you to be with us. How many of you can remember that? I've seen that clip. If not, I'm going to play it on the next episode and cut it with this one. Just have a look at comments very quickly. I hear we are waiting, but I imagine the difference was playing over several features. Distorts it. Yeah. Do you know what? We have got these wonderful devices. Although they have certain frequencies, they are very limited. And for some reason, they never record the guys how they actually sound. A lot of paranormal groups and investigators think, oh yeah, there they are, they're whispering. I'm behind you. No, they're talking like I'm talking to you. And I can prove that again, which I'm going to do in a second. I get emails quite often. Don, I don't know if I quite believe what your stuff. Because I've been investigating for many years, and we can spend 8 hours in a place and get nothing. And why is it every time you hit the record button, you get responses? That's an in-depth detailed question, of which I've kind of touched on before, which I'm not going to go into now. But you know what? A lot of it's down to the individual, not the devices. As you're going to see, because coming up, we did. Chris wanted to do an experiment. He had all these voices coming off my recorder all night at the farm, and he was like, "Wow!" But he couldn't stand. He didn't get anything on his, and he tried mine. He didn't get anything. So he asked me to use his. He didn't get anything. Oh, they started coming straight through. Okay, so earlier I mentioned this wonderful woman called Charlene. This I put out directly as 100% evidence to counter any argument to do with ambient sound resembling speech. And I've got a short version and a long version of this. So I'll play the long version first, then we'll play the short version, and we'll hear Charlene. As you record in the last clip, I said, there's a lady here. Like I said, that's a claim, unsubstantiated at that point. But when you say there's a lady here and you get a human lady voice talking, even if she's just given a name, on request, by the way, what's your name? Was you a nurse? What's your name? Direct reply, no static, because she talks directly into the video camera microphone, not the digital recorder. And you know, this is the kicker. Here we have another perfect example of what they sound like in real time into a video mic, as opposed to what they sound like on a voice recorder. A direct comparable. That's twice now we've got this. And I've not seen this, well, nor Steve, in any other paranormal group, any paranormal research, a direct comparable anywhere. So we're very fortunate to have, and I only found this today when I was going through the clip. I was like, oh my God, I've had this all this time. The previous one, you should be with us, when it was in my garden. You know, that was fantastic. This is that 10 times. Absolutely 10 times. This is incredible. Like I said in the description on here, this destroys that argument. My full reputation on the line. That is my claim. Right, Athena, I'm sure you said the exact model. I have the same brand of recorder, but not model. I've tried 2 years and got nothing. Exactly. George, damn, got to let my dog out. Okay, everybody. Pause. Let's wait for George to get back. Because you know what? That's how nice we are on the Supernatural Files. We accommodate everybody's personal needs. George, let me know when you're back. We're going to wait on George now. Yeah, Athena, that's normal. That is perfectly normal. I'm not perfectly normal. That's what enables me to do what I do with the healing, the this, the that, and everything else. And it's a complicated thing, which I'm never going to go into totally publicly. While we're waiting for George, I got to tell you, in fact, I ain't got that recorded here. I wish I had. But so I did that driving test yesterday. We got back. And, well, after I failed the first thing on that stupid mistake in the last 30 seconds, I got back. It says, yeah, I want to do it again. It says, rebook 5 minutes. Yeah, I want to do it now. Okay. I went to the, and I'm tired to death, guys. I've been really tired the last few days. I went to the bathroom, got some bathroom paper, wetted it. Said, God damn it, Becky, we're going to do this. We're going to do this today. And I walked out. Determined. Did it, passed it, not a problem. Got back here. I said, Becky, we did it. Got this fantastic recording. Patty just started laughing. Becky just went, it was easy. Super clear, super loud, super Becky. Absolutely fantastic. I'll play it on the next show, but it was incredible. I said, yeah, Becky, I know it was easy, but I screwed it in the last 30 seconds because lack of concentration, tiredness, or whatever. But Becky was obviously in the car with me taking the test, which I find incredible. I know she was in 24/7, but you know what? There is no words ever to describe our relationship and Becky. She's absolutely fantastic. And I cannot wait until this TV stuff goes out that with that Hollywood production company that we're shooting all over America and all over the UK, because Becky is probably going to become the most famous, well-known, spirity person ever. She's been with me for over 10 years now. That's unprecedented. The fact that we can prove and she substantiated herself and everything, that's unprecedented. The fact we can do stuff on demand, on request, under test conditions if necessary, that's unprecedented. So we're not making splashes anymore, guys. We're making goddamn tidal waves this year. We really are going to make some tidal waves. Is George back? Let me have a look. Oh, George, you've got to hear. Oh, Paddy's there. Hello, dear wife. Put a dodgy diaper on the dog. Do you know what, Paddy? You cannot tell people to do and judge people by your own standards. You just can't. No, we haven't really got a dog walking on with a diaper on right now. George is back. Okay, George, we've been waiting for you. You see, that's how we are on the Supernatural Files. We cater and appreciate and respect everybody. Cool. Okay. So, right, let me just recap very, very quickly. In fact, let me have a drink of wine. This is my first bottle for 2 weeks because I missed last week. Oh, did you see that? God damn it, they must have made that bottle smaller this week. Damn. First bottle for 2 weeks. Okay. So, right. So, where am I? We did Be with us, open to interpretation, like I said. Can't put it out as evidence. I heard it. I can put it out as what I said it is, but I can't claim that as direct evidence because spirits watching us, again, scratchy. I can't put it as direct evidence. But then, this is the kicker, guys. Charlene. Before I play the Charlene clip, I want you to imagine this. You've heard Becky on the voice recorder, and people have said, why does she whisper? She doesn't. When you hear this Charlene's voice, I want you to remember Steve talking about Becky when he heard her talking out of the air. It reduced him to tears. That was on the Keith indication bottle. We were talking. She just joined into that conversation like another person standing there. Several word sentence. Steve just went. I went, oh, it's Becky. He started tearing up because you know what? And again, even Chris Andrews teared up when he heard Becky, and so he said, "It's Portal," and he started tearing up and crying. It's a very emotional, has a very emotional effect on people when they hear Becky in real time, and I mean real time in a real human voice. So, what I'm saying is, you will now hear an example of what they sound like on the recorder when people say, "Why do they always whisper?" and what they sound like in real time. And I need you to imagine what Steve heard when Becky, like this young lady, spoke out of the air in the same loud, clear voice, or that was more harmonic. And oh my goodness, it was beautiful, guys. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Charlene. And you know what? I'm not bigging this up. This really is a big one. So first, you'll hear Charlene. And you'll also hear Charlene on the voice recorder. You can make a direct comparable yourselves. George, even your hearing is going to hear this. There's a lady here right now with me, sort of around here. Sweetheart, can you just give me your first name, please? Or can you tell me what you used to do? Was you a nurse or whatever? So first name, or was you a nurse? Just say, I was a nurse, or give me your first name.
Do you want to pop them on the amp?
I'm going in a second. Let me interrupt that right there before I play the whole clip. The first thing, Charlene, human sounding voice, just before we start playing the voice recorder, is Charlene. So I'm going to start it again now, just so you guys know what you're listening for. And let me know what you hear. There's a lady here right now with me, sort of around here. Sweetheart, can you just give me your first name, please? Or can you tell me what you used to do? Was you a nurse or whatever? So first name, or was you a nurse? Just say, I was a nurse, or give me your first name.
Do you want to pop them on the amp?
I'm going in a second. Right, I'm now going to disappear so if I can make sense of these recordings, properly. So I appreciate that. I will be back very, very shortly. What I would like to do in the meantime is I'd like to come in there with me. I can actually feel some strength in here, which is quite reassuring. So thank you for that. We're just going to check these recordings. Well, I think that was a very, very active session for the first 5 minutes.
It was, wasn't it?
Of sitting in here. Well, that was extremely interesting for the just very short time that we spent in there. Now I'm going to put these on the amp and see if I can make sense of them, but very, very impressive. Guys, like I said, staunch skeptic or not, how could you possibly deny that that was a human female voice out of the air, Charlene? How fantastic was that? Was I exaggerating? I don't think so. What do you think, guys? Let me know. Hi, Jude. How are you? Good to see you. George, I heard that better before you played the recorder. Well, yeah, that's the whole point, George. And congratulations, George. George struggles to hear things sometimes, like, interpret things. He said he's, and I did promise you, George, you would hear that clearly. So, guys, when we're talking about ambient sound resembling speech, we've now got speech resembling ambient sound. How's that for reversal? The one thing do you know what? Until the day I die, I've got to figure this out. And the interesting thing is there as well. Obviously, I said it was a lady before the lady spoke. That's important because, like I said to you, that was at that time an unsubstantiated claim. Now it's substantiated with a gold stamp. Woman, and like I said, I've lost some of the footage. She was actually a nurse. She was a nurse that attended to wounded soldiers, World War I or II, can't remember which now, in that trailer. And you know what? She was fantastic, and just she only gave a name. That's what she needed to do. When you get a recording like that, that blows every goddamn skeptical argument out of the water. Unless, you know what, Don Phillips is cheating. The chances of me cheating and Jesus coming to earth tomorrow, there's more chance of Jesus coming to earth tomorrow. No religious pun intended, I'm just saying. Because you know what, this is the Supernatural Files. I have got a reputation. But that one word from Charlene made the whole thing worth it. That one single word. There's a woman here can give me a name, Charlene. Absolutely fantastic. So like I said, can you imagine? That was one word in a human voice, female. When me and Steve was in Bothell, we were talking about something. And Becky, in that same clarity, loudness, but more beautiful and harmonic, but oh my God, I've never heard a voice like it, joined in with a complete sentence. Yeah, Steve was like, wouldn't you be? Can you imagine that? Because in some way it kind of makes them more real than listening on a digital voice recorder. There's no interpretation. A clear female voice, which confirms A, Becky's real, the afterlife is real. Do you know what? After that, there's no argument. There is no sitting on the fence. Nothing. The whole thing about the paranormal institutions and parapsychology and the skeptics and the cynics is, evidence. Yeah, it's a kind of sitting on the fence can't be repeated. Me and Becky have been goddamn repeating this shit for years. Has anyone come knocking on our door? No. Do you know why? Because it is too challenging for them to explain. That is why. We are the exception to the rule, guys. In the UK, they didn't even want to come close. Like I said, when I did the investigation on the ITV this morning show, they wanted me to investigate the studio. They paid me lots of money. I went on in the morning just for a 10-minute segment. I was not allowed to mention the word spirit. I could mention ghost because that's fun, that's entertainment, that's Scooby-Doo. I could not mention the word spirit. Wow. But like I said, guys, I'm in America now. I'm in the right place with the right people. And when this stuff goes out, because I'm filming with this production company in Hollywood this year, I think that's going to be a game changer. The producer said, Don, do you know what, this stuff, I can't guarantee it, but I think you're going to get a lot come off of this when this show goes out, because wow, this is amazing. And the platform that saw this stuff, they have to approve it, because this is how it works. In fact, they didn't even want to. It was crazy because they contacted me originally and said, hey, Don, Hitchhiker Effect. Well, actually, they contacted Steve Merritt. Don, the Hitchhiker Effect. Steve, the Hitchhiker Effect. What do you know about it? So he told them. I said, yeah, you need to also speak to Don Phillips. So the producer rang me up and said, hey, Don, Steve. Yeah, introduction's fine. Can you tell me about the Hitchhiker Effect? I said, well, that's not actually a modern phenomenon. The first case of that, I think, was in 1954. And I gave them all the background because I do a lot of research. Wow, that's fantastic. You know a lot about it. Well, I know as much as what's out there. You can find that information. You can Google it. I'm nothing special. And then they started checking Don Phillips out. YouTube, this, that. And then I got a phone call. Wow, this is amazing. This is incredible. Never seen anything like this. Hey, Don, do you want to do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we have can you speak to the producer? Can we do, we did all that. And like, wow, all of a sudden this big thing, this huge thing on this huge platform was born from one phone call about the hitchhiker effect, which kind of went out of the window, and all this stuff's going on. And I've been to the UK now. They've been interviewing everyone that's worked with me, or a lot of my cases. They're going over in the beginning of summer to do some filming with the people that will work with me on some of the cases, and then they're coming over here. I've got a day or two filming with them. This is going to be the game changer. This is America. This is not the UK. This is not Man versus Weird. The series where they did 10-minute segments on what they said was the best of people doing their shit from around the whole world. And they happened upon me. I said, Don, wow, this is amazing. Let's do a whole hour show about you. Fantastic. And they threw me under the bus pretty much because it was too real for them. But like I said, you know what, guys? This is America now. And as long as you're always honest about what you do, you don't fake shit, you're happy to reproduce it on request, you have nothing to fear. The UK is not interested in paranormal. They're interested in ghosts and Scooby-Doo, little segments of interest and things that people go, ooh, like Most Haunted and all that bullshit. No. Me and Becky are the most realist deal anyone's going to ever come across that can substantiate and we can prove. We're going to take this to a whole new level, and the opportunity is there this year. That's what's going to happen. And you know what, guys? Me and a lot of my supporters cannot wait because this has been a long time coming. Right, let's see what we've got on comments. George. Yeah, okay, Jude. Athena, hold on a second. Jude, that was beautiful, clear, and unmistakable. It was not unmistakable, Jude. It was undeniable. Totally undeniable at any point. Athena, that was very clear. It was, sweetheart. George, yes, you did tell me. Jude, you didn't mention you'd. Okay, Jude, you've got me on this one. You totally got me on this. Hands up. You didn't mention you'd explain to us how and spirit can people. You did mention to. Sorry, let's start this again. You didn't mention you'd explain to us how the spirit people can speak in a human fashion. Do you know what, Jude? You got me. I said this week I would be doing that, but you know what? No, I'm not. That is a huge question with a huge explanation, but I will endeavour to get that ready for next week for you, because nobody knows the answer to that. But you will get that answer here with me and the guys on the Supernatural Files. We can do that. And that's why you tune in every week or most weeks. The only thing I would say is this. I'm getting hot, so I've got to take my jacket off. Hold on, guys. It's getting milder now, which is fantastic, because you know what that means? That means sessions with me, the guys, and Becky answering all the questions that people have asked for so long that we've got all the answers to. And this is what fascinates me. We have got the answers to every single question people have been asking for millennia. How many people have gone on our door? None. Some of you guys, but you know what? Considering the gravity of this thing and the afterlife, you would think there will be lots of people trying to knock our doors down right now, but unfortunately there's not. Let me turn this heater up. Whew. It's been a warm one. Fantastic. All right, hold on. Yes. Hang on. Let's have a look. Jude, you did mention done that. George, I would be, and yes, makes them more real. Yeah, it totally does. Glenn, yeah, nice and clear. Was it clear sometimes? Does Becky have an accent? Yeah, she's totally British, Glenn. Yes. Oh, and Paddy, obviously. Paddy, yes. Becky has a British accent. I mean, you have no idea how many recordings Paddy's heard of Becky answering questions. And what she's experienced being my partner. You guys have no idea. This girl is gold. Because you know what? A lot of girls have gone, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with that shit. This is too weird. George, my thought is that only Jew are able to communicate with spirit. Not enough people can validate their own. No, they can't. Few, not do. Yeah, you know what? I got that, George. I kind of read that. Guys, do you know what? This is Supernatural Files. We keep it real. And Don needs a pee break right now. So talk among yourselves. I will be 2 minutes. Here we go. Okay, we're back. I needed that really bad. Okay, so let me see. I said chat among yourselves during our little break. What we got here? Get Don some diapers. George, oh, seriously, dude? Seriously? Do you know what? This lasted not very long at all. This wonderful wine. I'm going to advertise it actually, because you know, guys, if you're not tried this, try it. Red Diamond, full-bodied Merlot. Absolutely fantastic. I only drink it when I do a show. And last week I missed my show, so I didn't get my wine. So this week it's gone down really quick. I've only got this much left. How bad am I? Okay, so let's see what we got here. Jude, better than Elliot Bader music, I think. Yeah, you know, I agree. You must have seen that other show. That was funny. Jude, great idea, George. Yeah, George, that's not a good idea at all, dude. That's really not a good idea. Don and the dog, I'm not even going to go there, Jude. George, I feel repeatability of the validation that makes other people highly skeptical of Don's evidence. Okay, yeah. Paddy, George, he drank a whole bottle of wine. Yeah, do you know what, wifey? Just get off my ass. Yeah, I drank a whole bottle of wine. Do you know what I got to say? I started this at 8 o'clock. What time is it now? Let me see. It's 9:31, so I've not drank a whole bottle of wine. I've got this much left. Then I've drank a whole bottle of wine in an hour and a half, and okay, 89% of it in the first hour, but that's doable. Costco white wine. George, Patty said I should get my dog diapers was a joke. Yeah, I get that, pal. Athena, Costco white wine is where it's at. No, Athena, white wine is rubbish. This is good for you. White wine is not as good for you. And Costco don't sell this anyway. You know, I'm very fussy. I'm a creature of habit. That's all I drink. Patty, you are so right, Athena. Yeah, do you know what? Okay, let's cut that crap right now. Okay, so guys, Charlene, I've got to keep going on about this because Steve Merrill once said, hey, Don, do you know what? Whatever it is, you only need the one. The one? We've done the one so many times, I've lost count of the ones. You know? Myself and Becky, we are going to change opinions. You know, this was always going to be a big hill to climb when I started out all them years ago. And, you know, I've been on this hill since then. I've had the skeptics attacking me from all sides. Especially when I first went public. Oh, my goodness me. Skeptics, even paranormal groups, that's bullshit. We've been trying to take recordings for all this time. We don't get nothing like that. It must be fake. You've got trick recorders. You've got this. You've got that. Eventually, they all kind of went, oh, okay. When I started surrounding myself, like I said before, with people that were there to debunk me, like Steve, who was a staunch skeptic at one point. Trick recorders, how do you do that? I don't even know how that works. You know. So I guess they came to the realization after all the stuff I put out that, wow, okay, so this just might be real. Might be real? Guys, this is the most real shit you will find on YouTube. And let's face it, 90% of YouTube is absolute trash. There's people, my haunted house, and their cupboards are flying open, there's stuff flying all over. No. You got to understand, because of my relationship with Becky and the guys, I know what is possible and to what extent something is possible, and within what time frame and conditions and lots of other stuff. So I call bullshit on probably 95% of YouTube stuff. I even got an email of one of our followers said, hey, Don, check this out. Is this real? I just went, hell no. That's not real, dude. Not at all. And then the late Robert Snow, the founder of the Ghost Club, the oldest, this predates everyone, the oldest thing in the UK. He was a guy in Russia. He said, Don, can you check this case out? This is fantastic. Look at this. I said, Robert, it's fake. He said, how do you know that? It's fake. Trust me. I can tell you, and I highlighted in the end why it was fake and why I was not going to go to Russia to investigate this case, even without asking Becky. There is so much rubbish on YouTube. I'm not surprised we've got skeptics and we've got cynics. It's easy to fake stuff, and people, they don't use fishing line. They use hair now to make things move and do this and do that and everything else. I had one case. Don't know, our family's desperate and everything else. So I went to Becky. Becky, do we go? She went, it's fake. Okay, so this was after a week of me communicating with this family. I laid it on the line. I said, no, because you're faking shit. Went, no, we're not. Yeah, you know what? I know you are. And you've got two choices. You can either take your YouTube channel down, or so I can make a video on it to reply on your YouTube channel, say that it's fake and how you're doing it. We had on their channel crucifixes suddenly going upside down. They did an experiment where they got a sealed jar with coins in, and they all started jumping up and down. That was the poltergeist. In the end, they admitted reluctantly that it was fake, and her boyfriend was faking everything. And the coins in the jar, believe it or not, she got long hair. He used her hair and superglued a tiny bit to each coin, 3, 4, 5 coins in a jar with lots of coins, and he just pulled it. And you couldn't see it on camera because it was her hair. The coins are jumping up and down in this steel thing, and there was cabinets flying open, and there was things going down the wall like this. They admitted that was fake eventually. And they did take their YouTube channel down before I exposed them as fake. Because you know what? If people want to put stuff up for entertainment purposes only, fine. When people are putting stuff out as factual evidence, my haunted home and everything, and getting everybody on board and damaging the subject, you know what? That's when I put my big boots in and said, you know what, guys, I'm calling bullshit on this. And she said, how can you say it's fake? You've not even been out. I said, trust me, I've got my means and methods. Becky told me it was fake. Eventually they admitted it. So that's it, because Steve was going to go with me on that as well. So that saved us a wasted journey into the paranormal knot. Let me just light this, guys. I'm going to play one more clip, take any questions, any calls, and then we're going to call it a night. Okay? And then I've got to start working out how the hell I'm supposed to explain how spirity people talk with no voice box, as it were. But the only thing that I would say to you in the interim is this. The fact they've got no voice box is based on assumption because they're spirits. Right? Am I wrong? Tell me, am I right or wrong? They're spirits. They've not got a voice box. They're just energy. So I said to Becky 5, 6 years ago, I said, Becky, in your world, in the spirit world, have you got trees? Have you got animals? Yes. Okay, so let's put it this way. In their world, the trees and animals are not energy, they are physical. They are physical manifestations within that dimension of their world. So let me put this to you. That being the case, to us, the guys are spiritual, non-physical, in our dimension. So what if in their dimension, they was as physical as you and me? They've got everything, a voice box and everything. So why would that make it difficult for them to talk without a voice box? Without a voice box is assumption on our part through lack of knowledge. But I will say this. I did say, and actually Steve Merritt and other people have said, and you know what, I'm on the fence on this, Big Star. Yeah, well, you know what, sometimes it's not harmonic, and they actually just put their voices on the recorders. They just put it directly onto the recorders. The recorder's not recording. The spirit guys put their voices on the recorders. Whilst it's true that you can block off the recording thing and so the mic's not working and still get recordings, which I've never actually managed to do, other people claim to do so. I'm on the fence on that one, to be honest. As anyone would be, if you've not experienced that yourself, you're kind of on the fence. What I cannot understand, to this day, and I've got to get this figured out, is how, like Charlene, there's always a strength. You'll notice in that other video, I said, oh, there's a woman here. Oh, that's quite strong. You always feel that strength. And then when they talk out of the air, now I hear everything. I hear stuff other people can't hear. And Steve spoke about this many, many times, and we've proved it. Clairaudience, that's what I am. But even that said, when Charlene spoke as clear as that out of the air into the video mic of the microphone, I didn't hear a goddamn thing. So you tell me how I can sometimes hear them before it's played back on the recorder, and I can say what's being said before it's played back on the recorder. Other times here I hear nothing, and when you play the video mic back, which incidentally is no static, it's loud and clear, and I heard nothing. I felt the energy, but I heard nothing. Wow. Guys, you know what? We've still got a ways to go on this. When we solve that mystery, it will be game over. Totally game over. Because, you know, people have got 1,000,001 questions about the paranormal, the afterlife, and everything else. I haven't. That is my one only question. I've got the answer to all the other questions I wanted. That is the only one answer I need. What enables them to sometimes speak out of the air that I can hear with my ears, sometimes out of the air that I can't, but yet it's picked up on a video mic, audibly, absolutely perfect. And at the same time on the voice recorder, it's like, I understand that. The voice recorders, they're not meant to record voices from other dimensions, because that's basically what we're talking about. Okay, let me just jump into the comments. I've got another clip to play, and it's not going to be a 4-hour one tonight. 9 comments, wow. Right. Paddy, you're so right. I think. Oh yeah, we've done that. The white wine. Throw that. Chug that. I drink white wine. Yeah, Paddy, I know, but you should be on red. Seriously, girl. Was it Charlene or Charlene? It was Charlene, Jude. It was Charlene. George, the fakers cause problems for the real people. Yeah, they do, George, but the problem is the real people are rarer than rocking horse shit. Oh, now YouTube's trying to give me a strike for that. That's all. Athena, the radio doesn't have a voice box, but it still works through energy vibration. Absolutely. Jude, that's an amazing and fascinating vision. George, Athena, the speaker acts sort of like a vibrating voice box. Yeah. Exactly. It still has to be carried over energy. That's absolutely true. Vibration is everything. Yes, Athena. Vibration, energy, frequency. That's the 3 ingredients of absolutely everything. But that takes me back to my other question. What enables them to be able to speak out of the air and me to hear when others can't, and speak out of the air when I can't hear and it's picked up on the microphone like Charlene, and it's absolutely fantastic. And like I already said, half this investigation was missing because I lost a hard drive, but I did confirm that Charlene was actually a nurse. Why is this webcam on below? Come back. A nurse. There was a lot of other recordings that night, of which I've lost. We was playing through the amp. That was fantastic. There was some brilliant recordings. Everyone was pretty much blown away. The main recordings. Oh, we had another maybe 3 or 4 really good ones out of the trailer, and then we went into the house and we got some, and Chris went to experience with his voice recorder and my voice recorder, and he was absolutely blown away. So I think, guys, we need to jump to that clip, take any questions, any calls, and then we're going to call it a night, because I don't want to drag this on forever. So the next one, my friends, my wonderful people. Oh, you know, let's just play Charlene one more time. The short version is 40 seconds. Then we're going to do the sum up of Chris and the people at the end of the investigation. Bearing in mind there's at least 30 minutes missing in between the last clip and this clip because the hard drive went down. There's a lady here right now with me, sort of around here. Sweetheart, Can you just give me your first name, please? Or can you tell me what you used to do? Was you a nurse or whatever? So first name, or was you a nurse? Just say I was a nurse, or give me your first name.
Do you want to pop them on the amp?
I'll go in a second. Fantastic, Charlene. And you know what? Never underestimate how grateful I am when you've got investigators all over the world spending hours in a place to try and get something. That was in the first 5 minutes in that trailer. The first 5 minutes of the investigation. I'm so grateful to these guys for their interactions and how they help me to help them to help me. Absolutely incredible, Charlene. Okay, so now, obviously that is not in dispute at all, what was said. In fact, you know what? This is not going to go out far enough, but I think we should here and now publicly challenge any scientific institution that opposes the idea of the afterlife and puts all their arguments forward, because I would like them very much right now to step in a ring with Don Phillips and Becky publicly. I would like them to do that. I put this challenge out many times in the UK, never had a bite. But you know, I'm in America now, and there might just be someone out there that says, you know, this is interesting. Let's take this a stage further. Let's put Don and Becky right under the microscope. Let's see if he's a charlatan. Let's see if he's a fantasist. If he's not, wow, we're really onto something here, guys. So my challenge right now is for any scientific institution that wants to get involved with Don and Becky to do so. Step into that ring and we'll educate you. So there it is, right here, right now. The only condition is I get to film everything as well. That's it. That's my only condition. Control test, whatever. Absolutely fine with that. It's there. We're here. Come and find us on the Supernatural Files. Right, so guys, obviously this was a fantastic case, and I'm really sorry that all the footage is not available. This is the final sum up. Now, you will bear in mind, obviously, there was a lot of recordings taken which I've not been able to show tonight, and this is a roundup of the whole thing with Chris Andrews' team. And Chris was pretty despondent the fact that he wasn't getting anything on his recorders, and I was getting all this stuff all the time. So that was pretty cool. Okay, let me play this clip now. Oh, wait, let's go to comments first. Hold on. George, maybe the answer is frequency, Don. Where out of the air and then only on the... It's all frequency, George. Jude, just beautiful. Absolutely. Makes me wonder if a dog whistle can be recorded when people don't hear it out of the air. Do you know what, George? I like that. I like that. So if you've got a dog whistle and we blow it and we didn't hear anything, would the recorder pick it up? Do you know what, George? I'm impressed. I like your way your mind is working. We're going to do that. I'm going to get a dog whistle. Whistle. That's the wine, I'm sure. A dog whistle. And we're going to do that. We're going to blow the dog whistle and see if the recorder picks it up. Or the video camera might, indeed. I think that is an absolutely fantastic experiment, George, actually. Because then I can analyse what frequency that dog whistle is at, analyse some frequencies I've had from Becky and the guys, and see, put it on a graph in real time. Do you know, I'm going to do that, George. That's pretty exciting. I love that. I love that, and I'm sure that Athena and everybody else does as well. I can't believe I haven't already thought of that. Good job, George. We're going to do that. We are going to do that. Jude, I would love you to see go up against Crazy Man Randy. I think he died. Hey, there's an ideal afterlife meeting with the greatest cynics ever. Jude, let me tell you a little story. You're going to like this. I did this before we get to the last clip. Then we're going to go. Okay, so I did my conference in Arizona, and unbeknown to me, it was hosted by Doc Skinner. He set it up, great guy. everybody went on there doing their stuff. I went on there. My present. I mean, it's on this channel actually. The Arizona thing. Disclosure Con. It's on this channel. If you're not seeing it, watch it. It's on here. And so I did my conference in Arizona. Went down really well. Absolutely fantastic. I loved every minute of it, despite the fact I got a really throat. And Dot Skinner came to me afterwards. He says, "Oh, do you know what? Do you know who was watching that?" No. He said, "Oh, it's one of the best friends of George Randy." Oh, yeah, no, he wasn't actually watching it. He missed it. Dot Skinner told him all about it. He went, "Yeah, whatever, bullshit." And it was 2 days later, a couple of days later, we was there. Because we had a hotel, me and Paddy and everything. They paid for everything. That was fantastic. And this guy came up to me. He said, "Don, hey, how you doing?" Oh, actually, I met him before. He got these matchsticks. He got these little toothpicks. And he was putting them on his thing and I was jumping and stuff. And he said, "Does that mean, do you think I've got the power, the thing, the gifts that you've got?" And I looked at it and I knew this was a trick already. I'd seen it. I went, "Yeah, maybe not." And we left it at that. I didn't know this guy was always talking to. This was fascinating to me. A couple of days later, Dr. Skinner says, "Oh, Randy's best friend, one of his best friends is here." And like he said, "Oh, yeah, whatever." I told him all about it. He said, "Bullshit," basically. A couple of days later, he watched the actual footage from the conference. He came up to me. This is James Randy's partner, about pretty much. He shook my hand. He said, "Don, I just watched your conference." Okay. I still didn't know who this guy was. He says, "Yeah, I work very closely with James Randy." Okay. He says, "And you watched all the stuff with the healing and everything?" He said, "I don't know what's going on with you, how you're doing it, but I've got to say, I'm impressed. You are an incredible human being." I said, "Thank you." And he said, "So, yeah, I work with James Randy." I was like, wow, okay, now it's super important. How fantastic is that? One of the guys that works with James Randy to debunk everything comes up to me, shakes my hand, tells me how incredible I am, having seen the stuff. I haven't got a clue how you do what you do. You're an incredible person. Fantastic. If it's good enough for him, I guess, you know what? It would have been good enough for Mr. Randy. He's not here anymore, but you know, that was quite a compliment because you talk skeptics. You can't get any better skeptic than James Randy's partner, personal friend, or whatever who works with him to debunk everybody. Absolutely fantastic. So that was that. Okay, so so that's that, Jude. Like I said, Jude, you know what? If what you're doing is honest, sincere, and true, you've never got anything to worry about. Right, so this is, like I said, there's a lot of footage missing in between, but this is pretty much to sum up at the end of the evening of the investigation with Chris Andrews, who actually didn't look very happy that he didn't get anything on his voice recorder. But again, I'll take that as a compliment. Okay, guys, check this one.
An interesting thing happened when the rest of the team were upstairs and Jackie and myself were down here talking amongst ourselves. And we heard, it seemed like someone was stamping their feet. Was it twice?
Twice.
2 footsteps?
Yeah, 2 footsteps, yeah.
Which was odd because later on, when we did an EVP session, we heard something similar on the playback.
Well, so far, very interesting night. We've been around, we've used these voice recorders, these the dictaphones, and we've been in rooms we've done. Now earlier, I said that we've been in different rooms and we did a sweep with these voice recorders and completely flat, nothing whatsoever. So what we've done, we've gone around with Don Phillips earlier on, and simultaneously at the same time, Don has asked questions and spoke out, and in response he's had uncanny results with his voice recorder. Now mine was recording at the same time, stood mainly just a few feet away from him, listening also on the headphones, so I may be able to hear this as in the live audio as it's coming through. And so far I didn't receive nothing whatsoever, but on Don's voice recorder, uncanny voices was heard. Everybody's heard them, myself included, which has left me dumbfounded. So what we did, we swapped the voice recorder around. Obviously we've got to try my voice recorder. Don used my voice recorder, which you can see here, and asked again, and again, voices was heard on there, which was quite unique. When I've tried it, nothing whatsoever. So we've been in the vicinity. One's working, one's not. So it's not a case of the voice recorder's faulty because I know this worked because Don used it himself. When I try, there's nothing. So it's kind of left me dumbfounded, really. You know, there's words that we are hearing. You know, we can make words out of it that we do understand, human vocals, but it's left me dumbfounded. I really can't explain it so far.
You know, some nights you don't get any static. They're the best.
Even at the end of the day, I've heard vocals, and
Well, yeah,
on
that's the thing.
both of these.
Sorry,
But yet, there's nothing coming on mine at the same time when yours is going off at the same time.
I'm going to put this cord on that.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a very interesting evening. I think the most telling thing for me is I think we would all be prepared to admit when we came in here, we came in rather like a herd of gazelles, and after a little while, Don then went back to basics and introduced us properly and sort of took it back a step and started from scratch, and we got far better results from that point on. I thought that was very telling. We've got lots of interesting EVPs tonight. Some will obviously bear a bit of further listening to, but that's some very interesting stuff there.
Fantastic. Like I said, you know what? It was a fantastic investigation. It's just unfortunate a lot of the footage is missing. But as you heard, Chris, he tried to take recordings on his voice recorder, got nothing. I took his voice recorder, the voices started coming through. I've always said, you know what, in life, regardless of what the veneer, there is an exception to every rule. Becky and myself are that exception, and that is why this year we can be making waves and we can take on the best of them, guys. The best of the skeptics, the scientists, and everything. It's time to change. It is time for change. And I really believe this is an opportunity for paranormal groups, researchers, and just everybody, scientists, to take notice. We can supply the answers to numerous questions that have been asked forever. We can provide the evidence that's basically been wanted within the paranormal field for so many years, repeatable and testable. Me and Becky are the exception to the rule. Of that, there is no doubt. I guess I'm just going to jump to the comments, guys, and then I'm going to call it a night. Call it a night. I am extremely tired, and let's have a little look what we've got. Comments. Jude, that's in relation to the Randy's friend, skeptic-y guy. Good to hear that. Yeah, and do you know what? It really was, actually. The whole conference thing, it was an amazing experience. Actually, I'll tell you a little story before I go. I got there. Oh my goodness me, look at this. Can you believe I still got some wine left? How did I miss that? Okay. That means the end of the show, guys, you know that. When I got there, one of the guys come up to me, he says, okay, Don, you got your notes and everything? I went, no, I've not got any notes. Anyway, he says, what do you mean? I said, I've not got any notes. He says, I mean for your conference. I went, yeah, I know. And he said, well, you got no notes? No, I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to tell it as it is. And you know, this is the thing. When you're being honest and sincere about things and you've got your video clips and everything, you don't need notes because you're telling a real story. I'm not suggesting that people with notes don't have a real story, but I'm just saying. I'd rather spend my time talking to the public than them looking at me going, I like to engage with people. I want to get back on the circuit later this year. We've got a lot of stuff to show. Things is moving quick now, guys. Things is moving really, really quickly. And It's getting that time of year now where myself and Becky's communication is going to get good, so we can start answering more questions. We've got the stuff going out with the production company later in the year. That's fantastic. You guys are absolutely amazing. I wish there was more on tonight, but you know what? It is what it is. It's St. Patrick's Day. Can't blame anyone for going out and celebrating. I'm going to draw this to close in the next 2 minutes. Jude, integrity is all. It absolutely is. Gold seal, rubber stamps. Okay. So, I'm going to give you guys until I've smoked half a cigarette to get any comments in or questions, and then we're going to finish. Like I said, to me, this whole night and that investigation was worth it. Just for that one reply, Charlene, to have that in the mic, direct out of the air, and have it on the recorder so you can compare the two. And like I said, it's not about them whispering all the time, because on the recorder it was Charlene. Typical recorder response. In real time, it was a beautiful female vocal response. I wish you'd give me a full sentence, but you know what? Charlene will do. That's not we're pretty much out of here now, guys. I've got a lot to do. Athena, good night all. Thanks, Athena. Thank you, George. Thank you, Jude. Good night, Patty. Good to see you up and feeling better. Yeah. Night, Patty. You know, Patty's not totally up and feeling better. You know what? Let me tell you something very quickly. This goddamn COVID thing has knocked the shit out of Patty. She's okay for a couple of hours and she's totally crashes. She's exhausted. She's totally worn out. She is absolutely exhausted. We went out yesterday, first time in ages, just down to Peebo's, had a couple of pints. I had a couple of games of pool with these guys. She was fine. She got back. Crash. This COVID thing is really, really bad. It's still affecting her. She's not over it. But you know what? She's doing good. She's trying her best. And that's all we can ask. She's a fantastic woman. And she's a strong... This is the concerning thing. Paddy is such a strong woman. And you know what? She's still struggling with it. So never underestimate this COVID shit that's going on. Right, my friends. We're all going to bed now. No, we're not. We're all going to say good night. Thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight about the farm, the haunted farm. And I guess I'm going to see you next week. And I've got to start putting a show together where I'm explaining how the guys can talk without voice boxes. I will be working on that over the next week or two. Next week, Supernatural Files will be around about 8 o'clock on Friday or Saturday night. Check out the Supernatural Files on Facebook to keep updated. And I think that's it for now. You guys are absolutely amazing. George, thank you for your input. Athena, Jude, everybody else, absolutely fantastic. Right now, we're going to call it a night, and I'm out of here. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'll see you soon, guys.